What's up everyone, Zach Seif here from the Zach Seif Music Channel. Today we're going to go over my rig rundown for my summer 2023 tour. For those of you who are new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Zach Seif. I'm a full-time professional musician from New Jersey, USA, and I post regular content on what it's like being a gigging, teaching, touring musician in today's modern music industry. Today's video is going to go over what I take out on tour with my band Crash the Party. We're an agency cover band that tours around the East Coast throughout the year, and we play everything from nightclubs and casinos to private events, weddings, corporate events, etc. So I have a pretty wide variety of gear that I bring out from week to week, and I want to go over exactly what I use, why I use it, and how it fits into what I do professionally. So without any further ado, click that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get started with today's video. So let's start with my main guitar, which is an Ernie Musicman Majesty Nebula. If you guys haven't seen my video on this guitar yet, highly recommend you go check that out. I've wanted this guitar ever since it came out, and unfortunately it came at the worst possible time, which was right before or during the pandemic, so I didn't have the money to drop on it, but I was able to pick one up earlier this year, and it's an absolute game changer. It's hands down the most comfortable guitar I've ever played. It's the best sounding guitar I've ever played, and it's the best looking guitar that I've ever owned. So this thing constantly inspires me while I'm on stage. It's super reliable, it's super well built, and it just plays itself. So that's why this Majesty Nebula has been my main guitar. Some of the special features that it has are an acoustic piezo system, which my other Majesty has, so that I can get some acoustic tones out of it. It has a built-in boost if I want to use it, but I just use the one on my pedal board. And in the middle position here, I have coil splits, which gives me more of like a Strat Telly funk kind of thing, which makes this the most versatile guitar, in my opinion, in my arsenal. And it's also the only guitar where I keep the bridge floating, so I can do some cool whammy bar dives and stuff like that. Next up is my tried and true PRS 2408. This is just my main backup guitar because it's the most road worn that I have. I already put stainless steel frets on it, which was a whole other controversial issue I addressed earlier this year. Maybe it was late last year. I think it was last year. But this guitar is pretty cool. It's very versatile. I have individual coil split switches down here to split my humbuckers from full humbucking mode to single coil mode. And in the back, I blocked off the floating trem with a 3D printed trem block. I've had hundreds of comments asking me what this is. It's just a 3D printed trem block. So if I break a string or I want to down tune a drop D, it keeps all the tension on the bridge and my entire guitar doesn't go out of whack. So that's what that is. No, they're not available for sale. No, I don't make them. No, my guitar tech doesn't make them. But it's definitely worth looking into if you want a less permanent solution that, in my opinion, works better than any tremolo blocking device on the market. But yeah, this is my 2408. I have a custom truss rod cover from WEC Inlays. I put ebony tuner buttons on it, black Dunlop strap locks on it, and yeah, it's my workhorse. So when it comes to Crash the Party, I like to keep at least one single coil guitar in my arsenal, and the main one that I've been gravitating towards lately has been my Novo Serus J. You guys know I used to have a Serus T that I used in my old band Triple Addiction, and I had to sell that guitar due to financial reasons during lockdown. So when Novo announced their select run with a Serus J with the torque guard and the blue finish, Fralin P90s, I could play the entire show. It's super loud, unplugged, and is super resonant. It's so resonant, I had to add some foam down here to the bottom. Otherwise, if I don't, you get that ringing afterwards. But you put that in there, and it doesn't ring as bad, especially through the in-ears and through an amp. But this guitar is just a rock and roll machine. I use this for almost the entire first set and most of the second set that we play every night. It's very light despite being a big guitar. It's super comfortable to play. It has a nice worn-in thin neck profile, and since the guitar already has a little bit of aging and relicking, if something happens to it, I don't have to cry about it. But it's nice to have some variety, and that's where my custom LsL T Bone comes into play. I am a non-exclusive artist of LsL, so I got this guitar for artist pricing. I got to spec it out, and if you haven't seen my video on this guitar, I'll link it up there. Basically, I wanted a modern take on a classic Telecaster, so we went with a 12-inch radius with a nice thin flame neck, vintage locking tuners. We have 22 stainless steel frets and just a straightforward 3-way, 3-saddle telly. This thing is fantastic. It's super versatile. And again, I could play most of the show on this guitar as well. I don't really care for any single coil with a high amount of gain, which is why I always keep 1 or 2 humbucker equipped guitars in my arsenal. But I mean, it's so hard to beat a butterscotch blonde blackguard telly, and that's exactly what this thing does. As many of you know, I work for Quantum Industries as their artist relations manager. That's this beautiful triple guitar case that we have. The Mark II just came out, but as of the timing of this video, mine hasn't arrived yet. So I'm still using the 1st gen, which is fantastic. It is a 6-locking triple guitar case meant for touring, fly dates, on the road, in studio, whatever you need. And it keeps all my guitars in excellent condition on the road. I've never once opened the case and saw the guitars move an inch, whether I'm taking them in my own car, a bandmate's car, with a truck and trailer, or with a road crew helping us out. So this thing's been fantastic. I keep some humidifier packs in it. It's got the headlock straps to prevent anything from happening, and it's also where Bongo lives in between shows. Bongo is my official mascot. He's been in my tour case, and he's come to every single gig for about the past 3 years. So he's probably the most important part of the rig. If I don't have Bongo at a show, it's not a good show. It's just as simple as that. So let's go over everything that's not a guitar. What is the main core of my tone revolving around? It's either the Fractal Audio FM3, which I bring for all the outdoor shows, or anything that has a smaller stage, so I don't take up too much of a footprint for the rest of the band. I have almost the exact same preset on this and the FM9, which we'll get to in a minute, minus a couple blocks. If I have to take out the FM3, I do need this additional Ho-Tone and Pyro foot switch in order to toggle all of my effects and my pitch shifter on and off. I also need a separate preset if I want to use my rotary block. And I also don't take out the wah pedal, which is a Dunlop expression pedal, when I use this rig. It just keeps everything more compact and it makes it easier for load in and load out on smaller stages. But when I have the space and the luxury of bringing out the big boy, the FM9 is where it's at. My main presets contain 3 different clean tones, just regular clean, clean with chorus, and an ambient tone that has chorus, delay, shimmer, all that sort of stuff. I have an edge of breakup tone, I have a crunch tone, a heavy rhythm tone, an acoustic piezo tone, and then I can toggle on my chorus, my phaser, my rotary, my boost pedal, and then over here I can shift between a half step down, whole step down, and an octave pedal. And then over here I have my tuner. When I bring out the FM9, I have a Dunlop Volume X that acts as my wah pedal, which automatically turns on or off as soon as I put my foot on it, which is pretty cool. I run a wireless setup, which should have thought about this beforehand. So when it comes to cables, I've been using the Sennheiser XSWD set for a long time now. You can check out my video on those up here, and these things have been nothing short of fantastic. I always bring a backup Mogami cable just in case. We have the power cable for the Fractal, and that's really all I bring, because lately we've been touring direct without any amplifiers or on-stage amps and cabs and stuff like that, and I don't miss lugging those things around, breaking my back at all. Next up is my Toolkit. This stays in my guitar case, and it started off as an Ernie Ball musician's toolkit that you can buy at, most music stores. And I keep my strings of choice in there, which are D'Addario, back and forth between the NYXLs, the XT, the XS, or for guitars that I only use for 1 or 2 weeks at a time, the regular XLs. I have all my different truss rod adjustment tools for PRS, Gibson. I've got all my hex wrenches. I've got a tuner. I've got fretboard wipes. I have a screwdriver that does Phillips and flathead. I have a multi-tool, a capo, a headstock rest, a string cutter, an action measurer, and I also have a nickel to undo my locking tuners for PRS and LsL. So it's important that your toolkit is customized to your specific needs. If you just buy a bulk generic one, it'll cover most of your needs, but you should always add your own tools as needed. Extra picks, I've got bags and bags of these. Buy in bulk, save money. using whatever retailer sells you stuff in bulk. I have the Jazz 3.88 Tortex, the Eric Johnson Jazz 3s, and lately for the funk and acoustic stuff, I've been using the 88 Dunlop Picks. Those things have been fantastic. But as you can see, I have just tons and tons of bags of extra picks because you're going to go through them a lot more often on tour. You're going to be playing more, you're going to be playing longer sets, and you don't want to be left without any extra picks, because if you drop one like I just did, you don't want to spend 30 seconds on stage looking for it. So bring plenty of extras. Keep some in your case, some in your gig bags, some in your car, some in your wallet, some in the tour van. Anywhere and everywhere that you can keep picks, keep them, because you're going to run out, you're going to need them. My in-ear pack, my Sennheiser G4. I use Sennheiser everything across the board. Super reliable, super high quality. And this is how I get my in-ear mix from our in-ear rack, which if you haven't seen, I built a small compact 6U rack space in-ear system for my band. And this is how I get what's going into there and into my ears. And in order to hear that, my custom JH Audio J16s, I love these things. They're custom fit to my ears. They have 10 drivers or 10 speakers per side, so I get super crisp HD audio, and my mix sounds fantastic every night. All that fits in this Line 6 Helix backpack. I've been back and forth between this and my Pelican 1615 Air case. Most times I take the Pelican, but lately I've been using this because we've been doing a lot of casinos where we have to walk either halfway through a casino floor or we have to go from the parking lot to the stage, and carrying two big heavy road cases plus a fan plus all this other stuff, just it kills your arms after a while. And I've already had a repetitive stress injury that I had to do physical therapy for on my right arm, and my left arm's starting to kind of get there. So I've been trying to keep less pressure on my arms, specifically my shoulders and my forearms. And this backpack with the FM3 weighs almost nothing. A couple other quick things. Wipe down your strings after every single set and do a nice thorough wipe down after every show, just to prevent crap from building up on your guitar. A spare Android. I mean, you can buy used Android phones from Samsung for a couple $100, if that, and it runs just the software that I use to control my mix on stage. And that way, if anything happens to my main phone, I don't have to freak out, and I also don't have to keep my main phone, which I'm currently using to record this video, in harm's way, because I can keep it off stage or it's on a tripod like it is right now vlogging my show. Gaff tape. Every single member of your band should have their own roll of gaff tape, because you're going to leave it behind. One of the stage hands from the venue is going to take it by accident, or you're going to run out before you think so. Come on guys, these things are what, 15 to 20 bucks a roll, and it'll last you almost a whole tour, depending on the size of the tour. Usually one roll lasts me about half a year or so, so I go through maybe 1 or 2 rolls a year. But again, since everyone else in the band has some gaff tape as well, if someone forgets theirs, we just borrow someone else's and we're good to go. Last but not least, the newest addition to my rig rundown is my own microphone from Sennheiser. I went with the 945 because I shot out almost every mic within my price range, which was between $100 and $300, and this performed the best. It sounds super clear. My voice sounds fantastic. It fits my personal singing style and vocal range very well. And ever since I got this mic, I've had fantastic results night to night. I'm not relying on backline mics or just a mic that we have in our mic box, but rather I got one that fits my voice, and it makes a world of difference. So I highly recommend that if you do any sort of backing vocals, if you're the lead singer, you should have your own microphone regardless, because you want a tool that complements your voice as best you can. But it's worth getting your own microphone if you do vocals in general, just so you can have a consistent sound that you're used to gig after gig. Last but not least, we have this beautiful Lasko Fan. I joined Crash the Party little over a year ago, and I thought it was hysterical how they all had fans. I'm like, bro, one more thing to carry? Do you really need a fan? And then halfway through the summer, I was like, man, I am so hot and miserable on all these beach stages. I'm gonna get myself a fan. And now I never play a show without it. It's just so nice to have some air on you, especially during the summer season. This thing has been an absolute game changer. Not only does it keep me nice and cool, it's also got some additional power outlets that are 10 amps. So I could technically run my Fractal off of this, and I can charge my wireless unit, I can charge my phone, we can daisy chain all of our fans off of it, and it has plenty of juice and power to satisfy that. So if you get hot on stage, highly recommend you check out a good Lasko fan. That just about wraps up today's video. I just want to give you guys a quick rig rundown for summer 2023. And if you guys have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments section below. If you liked what you see today, again, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. It helps me out a ton as a content creator, trying to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you guys want more content on the regular, check me out on social media. Those links are below as well. Until next time, everyone, keep on practicing and keep on following your dreams.